Hello. So there it was. Thinking about this past weekend, which was, for those of you who don't know, it was the Players' Cup 2. Now, the Players' Cup 2 is kind of our... Why is it doing this weird thing on my shoulder? Okay, go my shoulder. The Players' Cup 2 is kind of... Well, the Players' Cup in general is kind of the replacement for a circuit while we can't have in-person events. For those of you who don't know, the way the tournament is set up, this has been both times. The first phase is a Wi-Fi tournament. Players play in an open Wi-Fi tournament, anyone can enter, and the top 256 from each region advance. Now, if people don't want to play after that, that's fine. But a lot of people will advance from there into the 256-person bracket divided by region. So I believe there's 4 regions: North America, LATAM, Europe, and APAC, I believe, are the 4 regions. So basically, you have the 256 of the top finishing people from each of these regions put into a double elimination bracket. Now, double elimination is not a format we use very often in Pokemon. We normally play Swiss, but that's the format they're using for this, seeded based on finishes. From there, people play down until there's only 4 left for each region. 256 down to 4, leaving a total of 16 people, and then from there it's a final tournament. Now, for those of you who don't know, the second iteration of this tournament structure happened... The first part of the bracket phase happened yesterday from when I'm posting this. It's the 256 down to currently 16 people in each region. And the 60 people will play down to 4 people next weekend. Now, I actually participated in this tournament, and I think actually we can take a look at my... Let's see. So we can actually take a look at my... where is it? This? I think this should work. Fresh. We can take a look a little bit at the run that I had. Let's see if we can find it somewhere around here. It should be right here. So basically, sorry, I'll zoom in a little bit. I can't really zoom in properly. Okay, well, zooming doesn't really work with this for some reason, but I won 2-0, I won 2-0, I won 2-0, I won 2-0, and then I won 2-1. And now this is where we currently are with the top 16 match. So that's basically what happened. And here's the team that I ended up bringing. And now I wanted to talk a little bit about some kind of like the philosophy behind this, right? Because I know that there's a lot of people who are interested in Pokemon, interested in getting better at Pokemon, but it can be kind of hard to like pinpoint certain specific things that you can be doing better or worse. And I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of my philosophy going into this tournament and following kind of a fundamental rule that I think will help a lot of people who are trying to play Pokemon. And so basically, I've said this for a while. I don't even know if it's an original thought or if I took it from somebody else, but in my opinion, the first rule when you're playing Pokemon is no bad Pokemon, right? It sounds pretty straightforward. Why would you want a bad Pokemon on your team when you can have good Pokemon? But it's a little bit trickier in practice. Effectively, what the rule means, it's basically calling out how in Pokemon, because you have to choose your characters like this, not all Pokemon are created equal. Some are better than others, right? And the goal of a Pokemon team is for it to be doing as much of the work, as much of the heavy lifting for you as it can, right? So that you can take it easy when you're playing, so that your team is giving you the tools to win and putting you into positions where winning is not super hard. Because realistically, you can win with any Pokemon. You can win with any team. Maybe not every game, but you can win some games with pretty much anything. And so, yeah. But the goal, of course, is for a team is for the team to be doing as much of the work as possible for you. So when I was going into this tournament, I was building with my friend Aaron Trailer, and we kept considering all these different Pokemon, right? We considered Mamoswine at one point. We considered a couple other, like Nihilego, for example. And a lot of these Pokemon are Pokemon that have potential, right? I think Mamoswine, Nihilego, I really think Nihilego has a ton of potential this format, for example. However, I wasn't confident that it was a good Pokemon. When I say good Pokemon, I guess I should specify this. I don't have a formal definition for what makes a Pokemon good, but it should feel right when you use it. It should be doing stuff, right? And it should be helping you more than it's hindering you, for sure. It should be giving tools that you don't already have, as a very bare minimum. What being a good Pokemon does not mean is popular. It's not synonymous with popular. I'm not saying you can only use Pokemon that are metagame, because a lot of times there are good Pokemon that are overlooked, such as Mamoswine when it won the World Championships in 2013. No one considered Mamoswine very good. It won Worlds. Even last format, when we had events, the U.S. Nationals Mega Medicham got second place there, which is a Pokemon that everyone was in agreement was more or less a bad Pokemon. So I don't necessarily think Mega Medicham's a good Pokemon, to be clear, but like it might have been a good call for that tournament. And there's like a lot of times where Pokemon are overlooked, right? Like Pokemon are, we kind of have like a metagame established, and then like people don't necessarily branch out outside of that. So it's totally okay to look outside of that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that some of the Pokemon outside of that are good, and some of the Pokemon outside of that are bad. And that matters because, like, by putting bad Pokemon on your team, it becomes it becomes much more difficult to win than it would be with otherwise. So my philosophy going into this tournament was I want to use only Pokemon that I can say confidently are good, which is why the team before you can see the team before you. This is public, so I don't feel bad sharing it, even though I'm still in the tournament. But yeah, you can see I have Weakness Policy, Moltres, Life Orb, Glastrier, Regieleki with screens, Pressure, Eviolite, Dusclops, Pressure because this is an open information tournament, so you never need Frisk. It's just a waste of time. Misty Surge, Specs Feeny, and then Assaultless Cortana. And I'm confident that every Pokemon on this list on this team is good. And so when we were building, we were considering Pokemon like Mamoswine, who in theory should be really strong, right? I'm not saying right now if Mamoswine's a good Pokemon or a bad Pokemon, but I will say is that I wasn't confident, right? When I was talking to Aaron, I wasn't like, Mamoswine is a good Pokemon, or I wasn't confident Mamoswine is a bad Pokemon. But because I wasn't sure, I didn't want to use it. Same with Nihilego, same with a couple other Pokemon that we considered. Yeah. So basically, why did I choose to be so ironclad with this in this tournament in particular? Because there's been plenty of times where I've used Pokemon that are like outside of the scope of good or bad Pokemon. And the reason is that this is a really early metagame tournament, right? Like the format's been out for like 2 weeks, and people are still really figuring stuff out, and there isn't like an established like it's basically just like very, very open at the moment, and like underexplored, I think is the right word. So by using Pokemon that you are like confident are gonna like be like good and doing good things for you, you end up covering a lot of ground, right? You're not gonna cover everything with like, you know, you're never being able to counter every team with what you have. However, normally good Pokemon are partially good Pokemon because of their flexibility, right? Like a Pokemon that like Milotic, for example, which like is, at least if you're not running Coil Hypnosis stuff, like if you're running just like Icy Wind, Scald, whatever, it's pretty good if your opponent has like a lot of Intimidates or if it gets like a boost somehow. But if they don't get a boost, then it's a pretty much like it's not like a non-entity, right, where it doesn't really do anything. And so for that reason, like Milotic isn't a Pokemon you can bring in every match, or if you do bring it in every match, like it's not going to be strong sometimes. Whereas a Pokemon like Tapu Fini is almost always going to be good, right? Like it would take. Like, I will lead Tapu Fini into electric types plenty, you know, often, right? Like, I think it's totally fine to do that. Because its stats and typing are so good, and what it offers is so versatile, right? So all these Pokemon are at least somewhat versatile, and they all have, like, a lot of things going for them. Whereas a Pokemon like Mamoswine, for example, like, it's, again, not sure if it's good or bad in the long run. I have a feeling it might not be great. But it feels like if Mamoswine's not hitting things for super effective, then it's, like, kind of not as valuable you should like it to be, if that makes sense. So, because the metagame is super open, and because people are still figuring stuff out, the advantage of being really strict with this rule, where sometimes I'm more lax, but the advantage of being really strict with this rule in this tournament was that I felt confident that by taking only good Pokemon, I would be able to cover kind of the wide variety of teams that I could face in the tournament. And I played a wide variety of teams. I played Sand, I played Sun, I played a whole bunch of different stuff, like to hard trigger them, less hard trigger them, you know. And I only had to play 5 games, so I feel really confident about like the call that I made going into this tournament. I'm not sure if I'll be able to advance past, from 16 down to 4, but I will give it my best shot. But I thought this could be interesting for people like watching and who are interested in Pokemon and interested in getting better, because like this was my thought process going into this tournament, and so far it's worked. Right, I'm 10-1 in games, and like I at least made it to top 16, even if my run ends here. And I'm top 16 on the winner's side as well, which is nice because this is a double of the 11th bracket. So yeah, like this philosophy worked a lot, like really well for me, and I would say that like this is a rule that's okay to break sometimes. Like you could try using Pokemon that aren't necessarily good, and it can be fine. But especially as you're new and as you're learning Pokemon, I think this is a good rule to follow, because until you can like learn to distinguish like what Pokemon that are not popular have the potential to be good on your own, it's probably good to stick with Pokemon that are more conventionally accepted as good. Like, I don't think you would, if you show these Pokemon to any VGC player, I don't think they would say any one of them is bad, right? Pretty much across the board. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's kind of all I have to say about the topic. I hope this is interesting to you. I didn't record any of my games from Players Cup because it's harder for me to play when I'm recording. So just said I'm going to focus on playing and not worry about recording. So unfortunately, don't have any footage from that. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll have some once the tournament's done next week, and I'll have some games of this channel on the team. So games of this team on the channel. Excuse me. But yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about this kind of concept in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.